traffic lights, common street lights, we cannot fix. Not so long ago, I stood here and applauded the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council. I said that, look, they said we're going to distribute street lights all over the place. I have not seen the street lights. Are we waiting for pump and pageantry to do that? Common street lights, common traffic lights. I stood here and applauded. So if I have not seen them, I will come and speak about it. Because the gun says, and Rekorti understands what I'm talking about. So fix the street lights and fix the traffic lights. It's a basic thing that you endanger people's lives for nothing. For nothing. Today we'll go back to Parliament. We will have COP Mensah, maybe, or the IGP will have to appear because COP Mensah says that the IGP did the recording that has put him and Superintendent Asari and Superintendent JB in trouble and Bugri Nabu in the mix and all of that. And the last time I asked a key question. If Bugri Nabu has so much influence to even be deciding and be scouting for an Inspector General of Police, the top, the Ogakpata of our police. What is Bugri Nabu's security background? We know that he has flip-flopped and crisscrossed between MPP and NDC before. So he's the one scouting for policemen, IGP. According to COP Mensah, on tape, under oath, as a lawyer. He knows it. So where would their allegiance be if they win? Because according to COP Mensah, IGP Dampare had made certain promises to, Bugri Nabu, has not fulfilled them. That's why the conversation about him being ousted came up. In any serious country, all the officers there would have been asked to go on interdiction for investigations to properly happen. But no, we're not a serious country, I tell you, every time. Now, it is a dangerous thing to have a security person in a party uniform. I'm not saying they cannot be part of the political conversations of our country. I'm not saying that they cannot choose a side to be on, but it is a dangerous thing for a man wearing uniform, and even at the very top, like that, to be thinking of party first instead of the nation and the people. It's a dangerous thing. No policeman, no military man, no prison officer, no fire service officer, no SEPS immigration whatever it is, officer in this country, national security, whatever it is, feed themselves. We feed them our taxes. The ones that they deduct from us, collect from the market women every day, it goes into a certain fund that takes care of them. It feeds them. No police, whatever officer it is, clothe themselves. We put the uniform on them. We buy it for them. Some go the extra mile to buy their own, in addition to what is provided. But we make sure we provide for them. We provide boots for them. For those who are senior officers like COP Mensah, we provide bodyguards or ADC for them. We provide transportation for them. We fuel the vehicles 4x4. As a COP who would have been entitled to one V8, 4x4, we fuel for them. We give them accommodation and we give them other benefits. We don't pay them and do all these things for them because we want them to come and show their party political powers and colors. No. We do these things for them because we want them to be true and loyal to us, the citizens, and to the country that they are supposed to be serving. But these things have been occasioned, and I talk about 5 areas that cannot be politicized: education, health, security, economy, and there's one I've forgotten. 5 things, 5 areas. We cannot politicize agriculture. That's the 5th one. But we have politicized all. So you will have a senior officer of that nature, COP, come on TV to talk about this. Cannot be wished away. This must call for proper reform. And you cannot talk about the peripheral issues and start making it a war between IGP Dampare and COP Mensah. No, it must go beyond them. Well, granted, he may be fighting his personal score with the IGP, but you must go beyond that. Because the IGP himself must come to ask questions. I have not been happy with how the IGP has decided to centralize communication at the police. I have not been happy about it because the police is a public service. And if it's a public service, we have an interest in the public service. And if something happens in Atebubu, the PRO at Atebubu should be able to speak to the media and not centralize it for us to speak to somebody in Accra who will not even grant us an interview but will write a press statement for us. That is faulty. Was that decision taken by the police council? Was it taken by the police management board? Or was it taken unilaterally by the IGP? So while you talk about COP Mensah, you want to talk about this. But all this politicization has been occasioned because they know that once they get in there and they show their party political powers, they could be promoted over and above their seniors. And they could be promoted within 2 years. They could get 3 promotions. We saw in COP Mensah's CV. People are promoted speedily. I have spoken about some before where somebody got 2 promotions on one day. Coming from the interdiction. I've spoken about it before. So there's a real problem and it cuts across our security agencies. Let's not kid ourselves about it. Listen to former, former Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Atuguba. Listen to him.
Are they technocrats? Are they the people running back? They will use politics to poison the system. The power belongs to the people. The educated people must help the people to take charge of the country which belongs to them and benefit from it by putting in place real and practical institutions that will bring them benefit in their daily lives and not be playing tricks with a system I will call democratic, and it's an instrument for defrauding the people, impoverishing them, deepening the poison of partisan politics, further and further and further. Our life now is just you situate yourself politically and get what you can get from it. That is becoming our drive of life in this country.
Atuguba JSC dissenting. And he has a dissenting voice. And I want you to connect the two. You saw how former Chief Justice Sophia Kufu came out to speak boldly. Said now she's been ungagged. Justice Atuguba is speaking how he used to speak. He's still speaking. And then you expect other senior citizens who have also seen and lived through times like this would also get up and speak because we had to save ourselves. I heard the president the other time talking about the fact that, well, he has run the race, he has finished the course, he has fought a good fight. Mr. President, you have not fought a good fight. You have September, October, November, December. And then you have 12 months in addition. That is 18 months. You have not finished the race. You said 4 more to do more. Why are you checking out? Why are you checking out? You shouldn't be checking out. You shouldn't be checking out at this time to tell us that you have finished the race and that the next leader will fix the problems that you have brought upon us. We still have gold for oil, but fuel price is still going up. In fact, there's gold and cash for oil. So we have our gold, we add dollars to it. We say we are going to exchange it for cheaper fuel, and fuel prices keep going up. It's not stable. It keeps going up. There's a problem. And as if that's not enough, there's somebody who is within the MPP, Charles Owusu. You remember Charles Owusu from Sir John's will? I give you a portion of the Achimota forest forever. He was at the Forestry Commission, monitoring unit, with his uncle, Sir John. Achimota Shikmo, a forest reserve found its presence in a will. A forest reserve though. Even the owners of that land dare not go into it because it's a forest reserve of the state. But politicians in this country took over our Gamanche, my Gamanche. And the Mankralo, near Dr. Tinto, they said they were investigating. They have still not brought us the investigation of that Achimota forest. Nimi Bamanye, Ingabo, good morning. Mr. Samuel Abu-Jinapor, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, they said they were investigating and that they will bring us the results of the investigation. Have they brought it? Mr. Charles Owusu is speaking. And he spoke about a very sensitive matter. Again, connected to what COP Mensah said. That where people are bold to show their partisan political... Why would people struggle to go to the presidency to go and serve as guards? Listen to him. Listen. So he said security officers are leaving the Jubilee House for unfair treatment. 77 of them, that's what he says. And he started with a prelude of how coups have been done recently in Africa. Palace coup, he calls them. Presidential guards who are taking over. He says 77 of them have either left because of unfair treatment. And he knows some of the people. Well, guess what? I wasn't expecting anything different from the presidency. Mr. Ahin, who wants to be a member of parliament to represent his people in parliament, he wrote, let's see Mr. Ahin's letter, please. He says that we should dismiss whatever it is that Mr. Charles Owusu had said. We should dismiss it. And this one is not coming from an NDC person or a PNC person or whatever person. It's coming from a proper MPP person, because for those of you who have not been initiated, Mr. Charles Owusu said in 2016 or before that, he says, change is coming. You remember that? Change is coming. Now the change has come. And he's complaining about the change. I don't know if the change included portions of Achimota Forest being willed forever. Let's see the statement, please. From the Jubilee House. I'll read to you verbatim. And then we can make our own minds of the statement. We can make our own minds of the statement that was sent out there. Mr. P will always ask the question, my friend Mr. P, he will always ask the question, he keeps asking the question. I want to fetch the letter quickly and read to you. And for those of you listening on radio, please share the link, like it and share it. Let people know about it. Now, it says that the attention of the office of the president has been drawn to a statement made by Mr. Charles Owusu on Friday, 1st September 2023 at the studios of Peace FM, to the effect that some 77 security personnel at the Jubilee House have left their duty post at Jubilee House because of unfair treatment. He puts that in inverted comments. Mr. Owusu is reported to have stated that go to the Jubilee House and see. The police and soldiers and everyone is complaining. It got to a point where almost 77 security personnel decided to leave Jubilee House and go back to their units. What type of treatment are you giving them? He asked. That's the question. And then he says the office of the president would like to put on record that at no point in the tenure of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo from 2017 till date have 77 personnel and security personnel left Jubilee House to their respective units. Indeed, no security officer has left Jubilee House because of unfair treatment meted out to them at the seat of the presidency. Curiously, at no point in Mr. Owusu's submission did he provide any evidence whatsoever to buttress these false claims. It is important to stress that any security officer who has left Jubilee House has either been due to disciplinary reasons or as a result of a voluntary decision made by the security officer in question. We urge the public to disregard these false claims and treat them with the contempt they deserve. Eugene Ahin is the Director of Communications. I will provide the evidence. Maybe not for the 77. What happened to the police officer Nanka Bruce at the Jubilee House? Is he still there at the Jubilee House? He was beaten, captured on tape, being beaten by riffraffs and hoodlums at the Jubilee House. Is that treatment fair, Mr. Ahin? And there are other examples. Now, if the Jubilee House believes that Mr. Owusu is spreading fake news, the government of this day have held the feet of journalists in the name of spreading fake news and have given them to the police and kept them behind bars. Why are they not recommending in this letter that Mr. Owusu be dealt with for spreading false news? And this letter looks familiar. You remember the Al Jazeera gold mafia? We here on Johnny's Bite, we wrote to Al Jazeera when the president wrote a letter in this same tone, threatening Al Jazeera and asking them to retract and apologize, or else. We wrote to Al Jazeera and told them that, well, our presidency says that you have to retract and apologize, or else within 14 days you'll be dealt with. Al Jazeera wrote to us and said, we will not apologize and retract Because your presidency doesn't know what they're talking about. The presidency is still keeping that response to the Al Jazeera gold mafia scandal, where they say gold is smuggled out of this country. Millions of dollars are smuggled out of this country, and the president was a representative of somebody who is a gold mafia. It was in the same tone of dismission. We dismiss it. Dismissive attitude. We reject and dismiss. Now you're a soldier. You're a policeman. You have been detailed to go to the Flagstaff House or the Jubilee House to go and serve on sentry duty. You have been given a weapon. You have a supervisor. You leave voluntarily and go where? What kind of debriefing was done? And is this just an overnight process? We know what the processes are. We know what the processes are. What kind of process was that? So it does not lie in the mouth of Mr. Eugene Ahin, who wants to be a member of parliament, who must show working an example to just be dismissing things. Somebody from within the stock of the MPP has come to say that there's unfair treatment at the Jubilee House for all security officers. And we are talking about see something, say something. We are paranoid. President said we should pray for him to finish his term. These are the red flags that Justice Atuguwa was talking about. These are the red flags that Nyahota Maklo was talking about. These are the red flags that what Brigadier General Nunu Mensah was talking about. These are the red flags that Festus Abwaja have been talking about. These are the red flags that Emmanuel Kotin have been talking about. These are the red flags. Vladimir Nkidanso. These are the red flags they're talking about. We are not listening to the people. And we think that because people got into politics, they suddenly become tin gods. So we dismiss it. We will retract and ask people to retract and apologize. Why was he not asked to retract and apologize? Why are we not asking the police to pick Mr. Owusu up? Why are we not asking for further investigation? These are matters that must be properly investigated. We saw it before in the Al Jazeera gold mafia. The presidency is still keeping that reply to his chest. And you say what? If you pretend, it will get to a point where you can't pretend anymore. Reality will hit you. You see, COP Mensah said that when you go to the police headquarters, people are not happy, they are complaining. It cuts across. Now, listen to what Mr. Owusu said. That's my last video. And then you make your own sense out of it. Make your own meaning out of what Mr. Owusu said. And then now read the letter reflect on the letter I read to you. And ask yourself if all is well or not. This is not politics. These are the realities. You can't cover up it for forever. Because if you keep covering it, we will come back to say, make some noise. By that time, we would have lost our voices to be making noises. Good morning.
Now, checking in Palace School. Palace School, as in sense, Bohuna Obia, a special forces commander. I will be president in Ubain, I take power. Special forces commander, I take power. Abaya, a wasu, Yabaina make tuneful. I thought that me time could you house, but me now for Hopa. See, when politicians, treaty security men. A very, very important though. Ukura pen, Obikura two. One and whom. Now the Okura two no the ball buying. You are not treating him fairly. Go to Jubilee House and see. The police, soldiers, everybody complaining. It got to a time, almost about Nipa Best 77 or so, decided to leave Jubilee House and go back to your units. I'm not sure that they are taking notes. The Adentina will be a prayer back the seat of government. Now I sang a press me piako. Me can't be a my buyer technique. So be a ba. Also, will be a person rush about the seat of government. But I know many of the people are almost sign back into the service units. Now they don't want to be at the seat of government. What kind of treatment are you treating them? Ministers of state. Yeah, the police in the car front. O treating is a boy. That's all nipa. Police in okure two. Eti wo kai nim airborne ho ban. O treating is a boy. So that is why when these things among for where there's no justice, there can be peace. To be can cool as I say or nobody wants to have cool. But where there's no peace, and you may be a man of 4 years, nneɛma bi a mafo ɛhyɛ nipa bufuo kɛkɛ mehu sɛ abranteɛ bi sojani bi a video bi time na parliament ɛdan sie no ho nsɛm ɛbaba no sojani bi video bi a na sɛ na asan aba back to Facebook comfort nti ase soja for no ɔmo yɛ nipa wo so moja na mu ɔmo hu die ɛkɔ so wɔ ɔman mu and if we want to prevent these things that happen there yɛnya tumi susu a yɛmfa tumi no nyɛ deɛ ɔmanfoɔ no ɛbɛpɛ.
Water is life. Water gives life.